Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing a Tithe Farm guide. Not too long ago I asked if you guys wanted to see a guide for this minigame, and a lot of you said yes, so here we are. And yeah, I would really like to start making guides for Old School from now on, so if you have any other things you want me to make a guide on, just let me know in the comments. Anyway though, let's jump right in. First things first, let's look at the requirements. You're going to need 100% Hosidius house favor on Zaya, so it doesn't take too long, max about 2 hours. There's a bunch of guides out there on how to do that, it's very easy. You're also going to need at least 34 farming, but in this minigame there's actually 3 tiers of plants that you can do: 34 farming, 54 farming, and 74 farming. To get the best experience, you're going to obviously have to have the 74 farming, but the method does not change between the levels, so obviously I do recommend having the 74. As for things that aren't requirements, but I would highly recommend having, you're going to want to have 68 magic for the humidify spell, which also requires the Dream Mentor quest, which further requires 85 combat. Also, have a full set of graceful. It is awesome, for obvious reasons, because you're going to run a lot in this minigame. As for the inventory and gear setups, make sure you are on the Lunar Spellbook if you are using the humidify spell. You're going to want to have 8 full watering cans, a spade, a seed dibber, astro runes for the humidify spell, and then fill the rest of your inventory like that with stamina potions. If you're going to be here for a while, you're going to probably use staminas to keep your energy up, and leave a few spaces. I leave 2. And the placement of the watering cans is actually deliberate. I'd recommend this arrangement, and it'll make sense later. Everything else is pretty arbitrary, though. For the gear, obviously the graceful. And then you want to have items that give unlimited fire and water runes, because the humidify spell is astral, fire, and water. The best is a steam battle staff. It's a few 100k. Otherwise, you can do a tome of fire, which is from Wintertod, and a water staff. If you can only get a water staff, like assuming you're like an Iron Man or something, just remember to bring fire runes along with your astral runes, and you'll be fine. Also, I'd recommend having an explorer's ring, because that restores your run energy daily. Can save you a few staminas. And then the amulet that I have is the Xerix Talisman, which I use to get to Tithe Farm. If you have one, you can use it to get there. Now it's time to actually show you how to Tithe Farm. And you can find it on Zaya, right here. So there's a couple ways of getting here. You can come south from the docks if you came here from Port Sarum. You can go north from the house portal if your house is on Zaya. Or also the Xerix Talisman Glade Telly is right on that tree symbol, so you can go north as well. And then finally, the Karend Castle Teleport with 69 magic. You can always go there, come southeast, and here you are. There's also the Tithe Farm minigame teleport, but that actually requires you to be in Tithe Farm at least once. So if this is your first time getting here, can't use that yet. You can always use it for subsequent trips though. So it's time to go and do the minigame. So talk to the farmer guy, use the option, I'd like to use your farm. Then you go to the table of seeds, click the seed that you want relative to your level. I picked the 74 ones, and then go through the door. First time doing that, he's going to tell you, hey, you want your tutorial or whatever. Tell him no, and I think there is an option to tell him to never do that again, so I'd recommend that. Otherwise, you would not be watching this video, probably. Alright, so now you are surrounded by a bunch of patches. I'm going to show you a diagram of how the patches are going to work for you. So, as you see, there's like a trillion here, right? You're only going to care about 5 for the method that I'm going to show you. There are different methods that use different arrangements of patches to be more efficient or something, but this is a very chill method, and I feel like most people can do it, and it was fine for me. So yeah, you want to do 5 patches in this arrangement. So before we start, I do want to just mention one thing. This extra patch right here that I'm highlighting, I'm going to call this patch by the extra patch, alright? Throughout the video, so don't get confused. That's the one I mean. And it does kind of look like an outlier, right? It'll make more sense later why I'm like separating that patch from the others. All right, now it is time to actually start. So first thing you do is you're going to plant the seeds and water them. One thing to note is that you can start planting the next one right when you see the water come up. That's when you know it's done. Right when you see the water pop up after watering, that's when you know to do the next. And the reason why you have the watering cans like that in the inventory, you can see that I am using the left watering can on the left patch and the right watering can on the right patch. Doing it like this makes it so you can pre-click because you're using a different watering can every time, and also makes it so you're not confused, like mentally, where you are in your rotation. So yeah, just remember left watering can, left patch, right watering can, right patch. So do this all the way through for the first 4 patches, and you'll be done with 16 seeds. Then you're going to move on to the extra patch with the 4 extra seeds. And this is why I consider it the extra patch, because I use the bottom 2 watering cans. And the reason for that is the top 2 watering cans are already empty. And to make it where you're not confused, it's easy just to delineate the bottom 2 as the extra patch. So you kind of just flip-flop left to right on the next 4. There you go. Once that's done, run back to where you started, and you can see that they are now grown into the next stage. It's already planted, so now all you have to do is water them. So do the exact same thing, but just watering. Now you're going to be on the second row. Again, left watering can on the left patch, right watering can on the right patch. Go all the way through again, and you're going to be back to the extra patch again, and do the exact same thing. Bottom row, left and right. Once those are finished, go back to the start again, and you are now on the third growth stage. So do the exact same thing we've been doing. The third row of watering cans, and just water them again. And go all the way through, back to the extra patch. Once that's done, you should see that pretty much all of your watering cans are empty, except the bottom 2 now have 2 in each. And that's good, that means you're done. So go back to the start, and you can see that the plants are now fully grown. And this is the harvesting stage. You just do the same rotation, but now harvesting. Once you're done, you will see that you have 20 fruit now, assuming none of them died. The secret to this minigame is you don't want any of them to die, because you will lose a lot of experience and points. So the beauty of this method of doing just 20 allows you to actually make a lot of mistakes. Like, you can be slow by like 10 or 15 seconds and still have them alive. It's all about knowing when to click after watering, essentially. Like I said, right when the animation shows the water's on the plant, that's when you can go to the next one. So keep that in mind. So now that you're done with one rotation, you have to do another, obviously. So this is when you do the humidify spell to refill all the watering cans. If you don't have the humidify spell, you're going to have to go to the water symbols that you can see on the map. You can fill up the watering cans there, but obviously that's going to slow your runs down. So yeah, now that you're at one round done, you have the option of either starting backwards or going back to the start and doing the exact same thing that I just showed you. If you want to do that and not be confused, go right ahead. You're just going to waste that time of running back and forth between runs. Instead, just start where you finished and go the opposite direction. Yeah, it's the exact same method, just flip-flopped, so it shouldn't confuse you too much, but just remember to delineate your watering cans the correct way and you'll be fine. That's the whole point of this method, is not getting confused on when you watered or not. And the more you do this, the easier it'll get. So if you're still confused on how to actually do this, re-watch how I did the first run-through. Because the run-throughs are pretty much the same way every time, I'm only going to show one run. As you can see, you can just re-watch it and it'll be the same way. So I'll meet you guys when I'm done with all 100 fruit. Because that's what you're going for. You're trying to grow all 100 without any of them dying. All right, here we are with all of them grown. I got my 100th fruit. So this is where you can go turn it in now, which you can do at any of these sacks. As you can see, this one's very close to the one I started at. So as you can see, we got a huge amount of experience, and yeah, that is it. You are done with one game of Tithe Farm. Either way, let's go into the XP rates and how many points you're going to be getting per hour. So I made this little handy dandy chart of what you can expect for XP rates. So the number on the left is the total amount of experience you're going to get from one game of Tithe Farm and turning in 100 fruit. It includes the amount of experience you get from planting the seeds as well. That's why it's a little different from the experience I got from just handing in the fruit. Yeah, that's what you can expect, and I can do 100 fruit using this method in around 22 minutes. So using that rate, you can find the experience per hour for each tier of fruit, and there you go. You can see that the level 74 ones are over 100,000 experience per hour. You can technically get faster than that using this method if you are tick perfect. That means never missing a tick. That means doing every action at the exact time that you can. Also, you can use the farmer's outfit you get from this minigame for bonus experience through planting, and also when you turn in the fruit, you also get the 2.5% bonus. You can do that, so that would increase the experience per hour by about 2.5%. And then how the points work is you start getting points on your 75th fruit. The first fruit all the way to the 74th fruit that you have gives 0 points, and 75 and above to 100 give a point. So that's why if you finish it perfectly at 100 fruit, you get 26. But that also does mean if you have one fruit die or even two fruit, let's say two of them died, you just kind of missed it, and two of them died during the game, and you have 98 at the end. That means you're actually going to get 24 points because it's 75 to 98. Considering you can do, a full game in around 22 minutes, that does mean you should be getting around 70 points per hour if you are getting perfect runs. And finally, let's go and look at the rewards. So there's only a few that are actually worth getting, honestly. For efficiency's sake, the farming outfit is technically only worth getting if you're going past 99 farming in terms of experience, but I got it anyway because of its really cool fashionscape, I think. And it is technically better to get it at the earliest level possible. So, hey, if you're 74 farming, go and get the outfit. It's pretty nice. Also, the seed box is very nice for Iron Men during Slayer because you have to pick up so many seeds. It's also good for main accounts anyway, for like a Dagonath task. You can also use the seed box for farm runs. Yeah, the seed box allows you to store a certain amount of seeds. Also, the auto weed is really nice. It's really cheap too. It's only 2 runs. The farmers basically get rid of the weeds for you on every patch. So that's kind of convenient. Also, the Gricolers can, if that's how you say it, it's basically like a quote-unquote unlimited can, but it only has 1,000 charges, which sounds nice, but it actually is charged through points in this minigame, and it's very expensive. So if you're actually using this can in the minigame itself, you're going to get a lot less points per hour. I think you spend like 6 points per game or something. It's kind of crazy. So I wouldn't really recommend the can. It's good for like really intense methods of this minigame, but otherwise it's kind of a waste of points in my opinion. But yeah, that is that for Tithe Farm. Hopefully this video helped you guys, and I had a lot of fun making it. Again, like I said earlier, if you want to see me make other guides in this style, very fleshed out, let me know. I will definitely go and do that because these are fun to make. And yeah, just let me know how I did on this video in the comments. I'd really appreciate the feedback. And if you are still confused on like a specific part of this method or something, just ask in the comments. I will definitely respond. I check my comments all the time. So with that, guys, you can also check out my stream on Twitch. Link is in the description. I also have an Old School Progress series on this account that you guys saw. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.